Hello.
Welcome back to our it's our second episode of
Yeah,
season 2,
technically.
Refocused. If you are new here, welcome.
Hello.
It is such a blessing to have you here to listen to anything that we have to say. But a little bit about us. Refocus, we reaffirm and reestablish God's purpose for relationships, lifestyle, and culture. And we do that by challenging the norms with word, wisdom, and love. I'm Essence.
And I'm Anthony. And how I do, what it do, what's the word, what the business is.
Cool. All of that.
I'm going to say this again.
Mm-hmm.
You look real cute.
Thank you. I'm trying my best to just accept that compliment instead of saying, okay.
You do.
Appreciate
Y'all
it.
see it. She got the cute bun and it's the messy bun. And it's like a perfect messy bun.
I can't master the messy bun. The only reason we're here looking like this is because I washed my hair, blow dried it out, and did not feel like doing anything to it. And I'm kind of like in my real chill swag era.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in a lot of makeup. I'm not interested in like heels. Just give me a hoodie, some camo pants, and some fresh kicks.
Yeah. I'm here
That's
for it.
what I'm on.
Sweatpants,
Mom
hair
swag.
tied, chilling with no makeup. That's when you're the prettiest. I hope that you don't take it wrong.
Here you go, the man with all of the songs.
Nah, you look good for real though, man.
I
You
appreciate
do.
it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. I'm working on myself.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. But yeah, that's my
Absolutely.
vibe lately, is just chill. I don't want nothing tight on me. I just want to be natural and fresh.
Well, I appreciate it. If you ain't got nobody gawking, I'm gawking.
Well, you better be. No, I'm just playing.
My vibe is dad. Straight dad.
You
vibe.
do got dad vibe.
I got
though.
dad vibe. I gotta get out of it.
You need
on
some
the low.
New Balances.
New
New Balances, like all the dads got New Balances, but like
Ugh.
New Balances are in. They used to be like not fresh for some period of time where nobody
Yeah.
was wearing them in like high school. But I want a pair so bad. I don't know why I don't have no New Balances.
It was somebody over
I
our
want
house
some,
this
like,
weekend.
neutral
They had some
dope
hard
ones.
New Balances. I can't remember whose they
Over
were.
our house?
Yeah.
And in our in our home or like at
In our home. I can't remember where. I had to take a picture of them.
Addie, my niece.
Yeah, it was hers. Them ones was hard. Anyway, so we on here today, talking about. So I got to give you the premise as to why. So we doing some things a little different here. Sometimes these conversations are gonna have a little more direction. I feel like we said this last time.
Right.
But sometimes these conversations are going to be a little more directed. Sometimes we just going to hop on here and just get on the mic and talk through and talk about some stuff. And that's what I was feeling
Yeah.
a couple days ago, actually.
Yeah.
But we actually had a very busy weekend. So we here now.
Very busy weekend.
But what I wanted to kind of like powwow with you, politic with you, pontificate with you.
If you don't just say it, like, it's the extraness.
What I wanted to holler at you with.
You still had to add another
I did
one
have to.
God, no.
It's all them homonyms. But I'm about to do it again.
No.
What I wanted to talk about was anger. Now, the reason why I want to talk about it is because I was thinking about my past, if you will. I was thinking about my past in a situation where I got laid off from a job.
Mm-hmm.
I got laid off from a job. And in the midst of me getting laid off from this job, there was also a very important project that I was working on as well.
Mm-hmm.
But this project had no resources.
Mm-hmm.
It had no one wanted to come to work. No one wanted to do anything that needed to be done. But all of the weight was like coming on me.
Yeah.
And I'm new to this project.
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm giving the backstory for the whole thing for people who I know you know, but I'm new to this thing as a whole. Even though this project has been ongoing, it has been an issue for like years, literally, and now they finally wanted to push it, and it's on me to make sure that it gets done.
Yeah.
So it comes to a point where in this project, I'm like just this particular day, I'm getting hounded by my manager, by another one of the other teams that is working on this project too, by their manager. What's going on? What's this? What's that? What it, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm over here. Of course, I'm responding to the messages as quaintly as possible, but I'm over here getting frustrated.
Right. You start hitting them with that email. Well, per
my email 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So, but excuse me. Excuse me, Mike. But I'm over here getting frustrated, right? Like, at least that's the words that I could put around it at that point, right?
Yeah.
So I'm over here getting frustrated, like, bro, what do y'all want? What is going on? And with that feeling of frustration, I was like, okay, like whatever. But it was just irritating, just picking at me, and I couldn't really pinpoint it at that time. All I could say was it was frustrating. But then after a while, I said, nah, this ain't frustration. This is I pulled out my emotions wheel.
I need one of them.
We could talk about that too a little later. I think I'm pretty
good with identifying sometimes, but I need you to take a look at this little emotion wheel that you've been talking about.
It's kind of cool, but I pulled out my emotions wheel, and I found frustration on there. Like when you frustration, and sure enough, it pointed to anger. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, nah, I'm not frustrated. I'm angry. And low key, it kind of helped me really be able to pray in the moment around what was happening. Yeah. And which also furthermore kind of informed my responses later, because I was kind of getting to the point where I was starting to be short and my anger was going to be noticeably available through them emails. Right. But I wanted to bring that to you, bring this whole idea of like anger and getting through our anger and what needs to be done through our anger to you, just to see what you thought, or like what you even done, because this is like new for me. Like being okay with being angry. Yeah. Because I mean, you know me before, I wasn't okay with being angry.
And you wasn't okay with anyone else being angry either.
No.
Because we kind of walked through that when we was in counseling.
Yeah. So this whole thing has been like really new for me. And especially so with that moment in particular, like that whole thing was kind of weird, kind of new, but it also was kind of refreshing for me to be okay with my emotions in that standpoint, or for me to be okay with being angry. I'm okay with being happy, so why not be okay with being angry? It's just an emotion like any other thing else. So before I dig like any deeper on that, like what's been your like, I guess, relationship with anger or feelings of things?
Now we was homies.
Okay.
I mean, me and anger. Where is it? I think I've had examples of anger. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying, through my life, and although I didn't want that to be something that I had noticed I had developed or turned into a very angry person, and wasn't identifying the fact that I was. And I think, like you know, one thing that you said was I wasn't okay with being angry. I that's something I'm starting to understand. Mm. But I feel like anger now, of course, we don't want to be angry for a long period of time, but anger is a natural emotion, just like all the other ones are. Mm-hmm. So why is it that everyone accepts, all the other emotions, but anger? Yeah. I think it's because from anger, there's so many things that stem from it. But I feel like
that can go wrong.
There's things that can go wrong, mm-hmm. right? But I feel like if we're able to identify, like you did, with your job situation, okay, I am angry. Identifying that you're angry and then working out that anger in a healthy way, I think it's nothing wrong with it. in a way of, because if I'm angry and like, for example, me and you arguing and I'm mad because this is what we went through with counseling, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm angry and I'm like, I need to take a break. I need to pause this conversation. I need to go into my own little world, and then I'll come back and have a discussion with you. And one thing that we talked about in counseling was like, you gotta, like, it's okay for her to be angry in that particular moment. No, go away and do what it is that she needs to do and come back. What would be wrong is if I acted out that anger in a horrible manner with you right then and there, and then never came back, which I was known to do at that period of time as well. But anger is a natural emotion. We have to, like you did, identify that we're angry, and then two, go straight to God about the anger that we're experiencing. Because I remember that particular day that you were angry, you was like, you know what, I'm frustrated. And I'm sitting here trying to help you identify what the emotion is. And then you looked at your emotion, okay, I'm angry. And then I was like, okay, you need to push back from your desk for a second. You need to go into your word and, pray, because that's all going to come out. When you angry, because I know it come out for me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Identify I'm angry right now. Why am I angry? Why did this anger me? What can I do to not allow it to anger me? And then in that particular moment, go to God about our anger. Yeah. So that we can do better with it. But I think it's a natural emotion like the rest.
You know what else I just came to mind? The interesting thing, I think, with not being able to like understand what the emotion actually is. If I just stopped at frustration, knowing me, I think I would take that on as thinking I was stressed. Yeah. Yeah. Or just legit letting it add to my stress level, as opposed to deducing down to it being anger and getting the anger out. Yeah. Even if it wasn't just going to God and being like, Lord, you know what I'm saying? Go hit a punching bag. Go, you know what I'm saying? Go do something just like random. I know that's what some people do to get let off their steam. That stuff don't work for me. Yeah. Though, by the way, I be seeing people talk about, I gotta go to the gym. It's my stress relief. The gym, I get it.
Yeah, that you gotta find your coping skill.
But the gym, do nothing. I'm under stress at the gym. All that day gonna wait since I done got strong. So I got a lot of weight.
You ain't lifting hard enough. You ain't lifting heavy enough. If you in the gym and you still mad, you ain't lifting heavy enough. You need to go heavier, because ain't no way.
It's just a distraction.
But you know what? But you gotta find what your coping skills. Yeah. Because it's just, if it ain't the gym, then that's okay too. Yeah. But I feel like yours got something to do with music. You need to go for a ride. Remember, yours is going for a ride.
Go for a ride.
In the car.
Let's get them windows down.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what yours is from the time that I've known you, is going for a ride and letting the windows down. Yep. To relieve that steam. Because I feel like people act like they never angry. Like, you get angry. Everybody gets angry at something. You just have to have a coping skill, and you have to know what God's word says about anger. Don't continue in it. Yeah. We justify our anger these days. That's what people do, is I'm angry. But then again, some people think that it's anger. But like, well, I saw a girl on TikTok who was talking about the emotional wheel that you were talking about. And it was interesting. She was like, I'm angry. She was like, you know what? Nah. I don't even think I'm feeling angry.
I know she said sad. No. She said she was sad. You saw another one?
It was a different one. She was humiliated.
Yeah.
She was humiliated. And she like, her friend just trying to work this out for, but she was like, my friend just was on the phone with me for like 30 minutes trying to work out, well, are you not angry with this or you this? And they looked up the definition of humiliated. And she said, I was humiliated. And it's so good to kind of identify, why did that humiliate me? Yep. We act out those emotions in different ways, and sometimes it can be masked as one emotion, and it's not even that. Yeah. But I think that's healthy. Why do you think it is that, I know one thing what you would just said was you weren't okay with being angry, and you also weren't okay with the people being angry. Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I think it got something to do with okay. I think it's either one or two things. It's because anger is inevitable, right? Right. And anger isn't necessarily a bad thing. No. The Bible says to be angry. So it's almost like it encourages it.
Hold on now.
No, seriously though. Sure, it's almost like it encourages it. What, like if we encourage any other emotion, because I feel like emotions are information, but I'm not about to get too far off track.
Emotions are information. That's good.
I'm not going to get too far off track from that. We can come back to that.
Okay.
But maybe okay, so it either comes from just like my default spiritual sensitivity or aversion, or it could be how I've seen anger growing up. One of the two. And I may not have.
Maybe a therapist. How did you see anger growing up? I'm just kidding.
It could be one of them two things though, right? It could be a mix of both. Who knows? But maybe it's that. Maybe, I mean, I do have memories of vague memories too of seeing like older family members like being angry and like ugly anger too. You know what I'm saying? Or even the moments where we see our parents get into arguments and stuff like that. You know, I ain't putting, not to put my parents' business out there, but everybody argues. Everybody argues. Yeah. But to a kid,
that's a lot.
They could take it either way. That's that kid. If they don't have a already spiritual sensitivity to anger or confrontation or whatever it may be, they could see an argument and be like, "Oh my gosh, that's a horrible, bad thing," and then anger is just a no. Or it could just be it could be fear. I didn't actually. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna be real with you. I've always had like an aversion to letting my anger go. Whoa.
Come on.
I've had an aversion to letting my anger go for fear that I would do something to put me in jail or really harm someone. And that's not even like, I'm not saying like I ain't a killer, but don't push. I'm not even saying that type of thing, but bruh, stuff can happen. Stuff can happen.
But dang, somebody put that type, like, why did the emotion of anger put you in a mind frame of, if I'm angry,
somebody gonna die. I don't know.
Like, dang, let me say your name. Like, what you do? Like, you got hands of steel or something? Like, what you?
I don't know. Even from when I was a kid, I remember I got a fight when I was in like 3rd grade. Some kid, we was at a skating party. Some kid took my hat and they throwing it around.
You stole it. You teed off on it.
They was throwing it around. One kid got it. He threw it. Another kid got it. She threw it. And one kid finally caught it.
They was picking on you.
They was picking on me.
Okay.
And I'm looking around. It's dark. You know, it's a skating party, right? It's dark. It literally was 3rd grade. This is how traumatizing it must have been, because I remember this, right? And I'm looking around, barely able to see. And then I look up. So another kid caught it by a wall and was dancing with the hat.
He the last one that caught it, and you didn't even go off on the one that took.
I don't know who did it. It was a group. Like, it was a group of people. And bro, I took off on my skates and tackled this boy into the wall. I remember it. Boom, get my hat. Yeah, boom, get my hat. Took my hat, and then I got jumped.
You got jumped.
I remembered it. It's coming. It's literally coming back to me.
This is wild.
It's literally coming back to me. Yeah, I got jumped. And oh my gosh, this is literally piecing back together.
Told me this.
Because it's piecing back together. The hat I had on was a local gang colors. That's why I was getting picked on. Yes. I'm remembering this now.
What?
Yes. Yep.
In 3rd grade?
3rd grade.
Like this?
Yep.
So you got jumped. What your mama? I'm curious to see what your mama did.
I don't even know if they know. Maybe they do know and don't remember. Maybe they do. I don't know. I haven't.
I need you to think back to the rest of that story, because I need to know who came to your rescue.
That's it. That's all I remember. I remember it just stopped.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So maybe there's some blowback from that. Yeah. Like, just in the back of my mind, that if I get angry, something bad's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna die. I'm gonna get jumped. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Maybe that's dang.
Yeah.
Maybe that's been it.
My friend told me, whenever we have these feelings, we have to figure out where they first came from and then walk them back to create like a time frame for things, to kind of establish where these emotions came from, or these thoughts around certain things, figure out where they came from. It's interesting that just popped up as well, because you've never brought that up to me.
Yeah,
ever.
I never thought about it like that.
Well, anger has definitely been like a thing, because I know throughout our marriage too, it was, we couldn't have an argument or a disagreement and I need a break, right? You like, no, very much so. We gonna figure it out right now, to the point where I'm like, nah, I need to go this way. And you like, but you were so fixated on me not being angry with you that it fueled my anger.
Yeah.
And it was like, of course you don't want to be at odds with your partner, right? It's just, you don't want that. But all it did was fuel the anger, because it didn't give me an opportunity to walk away and know that it was okay for me to have that emotion. I mean, I remember us walking through this in counseling. I'm like, bro, people get mad. Like, you made me seem like I'm horrible for being like angry and needing space to walk through it.
Yeah.
And our counselor was like, she can be upset. It's normal to be angry. Like, why? Because it was almost like you needed to fix it right within that moment. And so sometimes we project our own fears or emotions around a certain thing onto the people that we love the most, even though we're trying to protect them or protect us, you know what I'm saying, from whatever it is that we fear the most. But I mean, for me, anger, it goes back. I mean, I think my anger stemmed from the feeling of being misunderstood and oftentimes unheard. And so it started to play out too. But like I said, I've had examples of anger and quick temperedness throughout my life. And so I never wanted to be anything like that. But as I got older, I noticed some of those things, like especially the quick tempered sometimes popping out, or just impatient. Actually, not even quick. Yeah, I was just very impatient. I didn't really have a lot of tolerance for things. So it'd be if something's just not happening quick enough for me, or whatever, I just like, just hit it. You know what I'm saying? And then if I kept having to deal with that same situation over and over and over again, it really just like pissed me off, because I'm like, bro, this is stupid. But I learned to understand that I can be angry, but not be the people I've seen those examples of anger from, and not be ashamed of feeling that emotion. Yeah. And kind of getting down to it too, like, why do you feel that way? Why are you angry? I'm angry because I felt misunderstood in relationships. Not just the examples from it, but that I've had of it as well, but just a lot of unsaid things, neglect, you know what I'm saying? Like all these different things that I had dealt with in my life. But anger, I don't believe anger is horrible. Yeah. I think what you were saying earlier was it's information. Yeah. Talk about that, because I think that was good. You said feelings are information or something like that?
Yeah. So let's see what.
It's telling you something.
Yes. So, like, obviously, God blessed us with these things called emotions. Mm-hmm. It's literally, and the reason why I know He blessed us with them is because we can't control them. Yeah. We can't control anger just as much as we can't control sadness. They're actually our emotions. Our emotions happen as a reaction to something. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't make myself happy. You know what I'm saying?
You can shift our perspective to help aid and guide us to where we,
right. But I can't. It's not. If I'm sad, if my dog just died,
I'm sad. I'm
grieving. I can't. I'm happy now. Yeah. Like, it's not there, and the same with any other emotion. So that tells me that it's involuntary. That tells me that it's a blessing from God. Yeah. Just like my heart beating is involuntary, it's a blessing from God. But that also means that, when you see scriptures that say be angry but sin not, that also means that we shouldn't. Not that we shouldn't, but it also means that these emotions shouldn't have control over our actions.
Absolutely. They should not.
So if we can say that about anger, we can say that about sadness. We can say that be sad, but don't lay in bed all day and let your life waste away and die.
To work towards that.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can put that with any emotion and the negative possibility from that emotion.
Yeah.
But then if not, then what is it? Like what is it? What is it supposed to be that happens after we realize what this emotion is? Mm-hmm. And now I believe now, especially like this is like recent revelation for real. But that's the way and the direction in which we supposed to pray.
Yeah.
Or what we supposed to be seeking and clarity from God. What am I learning from this? Mm-hmm. I got fear. Sometimes that emotion can be a quicker lesson than others. Mm-hmm. So if it's a fearful emotion, all right, I probably need to run or I need to fight or what, you know what I'm saying? Well, that's a quick reaction to whatever it needs to be.
Yeah.
But other times I think that those emotions being information to how do I need to respond to this?
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
I need to step back and take a breath, take a break, whatever it may be. But when it hit you with it being emotion, what crossed your mind first? Did anything cross your mind?
What?
Like when you hear or first heard that emotions are really just information.
I kind of agree with it because it's something I'm reacting to this situation for a particular reason, and rather I'm justified in my emotion or I'm not. There's something in me that made me feel the way that I felt, and instead of me just accepting and saying, okay, I'm mad about it, I'm going to just be mad. Well, if you're upset that somebody said this to you, Essence, why did it trigger you that much? Why did it bother you that much that somebody said this to you or somebody said that about you? Then let me go to, okay, well, maybe I have this, this people pleasing thing. And that's something I can work on myself because, at the end of the day, that emotion of me being angry in that particular situation, and this is just hypothetical, whatever. Me being angry about that is for a reason. If somebody came in my house and told me, I don't like your house and blah, 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 this, that, and the third, and I get mad, I'm probably mad because who you think you are? You disrespectful, like get out. But also there could be some, man, like I'm embarrassed. Yeah. I feel disrespected. Why did you address me in the particular manner that you addressed me? No, I can't control you. But why did it make me so mad that they said what they felt about my place? Why do I have this particular insecurity? Yeah. I think what people fail to do, though, is examine those emotions and why they feel the way they feel. Yeah. And it hinders them from growing. Like, why did I feel sad in this particular situation? What is it about this that makes me happy? Mm-hmm. Even happiness sometimes, like, why do you think it is that you get happy when you're in these particular situations? Sometimes the smell of a place can ignite joy in somebody. Yep.
It's tied, our emotions are tied to memories. Yeah.
And it's like, man, when you come here, this reminds me of, man, we all used to get together at my grandma's house on Thanksgiving. We all just sit around. It wasn't nothing spectacular, but we all have our little folding chairs, just sit around. It reminds me of this. So why not do the same thing with other emotions? Why don't we just take a step back and say, hey, this reminds me of this, or I'm behaving the way that I'm behaving right now because it stems from something else. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's examples set for us or experiences that we've had, it can teach us a lot. So that emotions or information, I think, is absolutely factual. Yeah. Absolutely factual. Whether about situations or ourselves,
With this, let me see.
I can't stand it when my tea gets cold. Then I just feel like I have to guzzle it in.
If you were a firebender, you'd be able to just heat your cup up with your hands.
Here you go with this firebender.
Let's see. Let's just see what, I know we have that one verse, right? But let's read a little bit. It says, but that isn't what you learned It's Ephesians 4:20. But that isn't what you learned about Christ. Since you have heard about Jesus and have learned the truth that comes from him, throw off your old sinful nature and your former way of life, which is corrupted by lust and deception. Instead, let the Spirit renew your thoughts and attitudes. Put on your new nature, created to be like God, truly righteous and holy. So stop telling lies. Let us tell our neighbors the truth, for we all are parts of the same body. And don't sin by letting anger control you. Don't let the sun go down while you are angry, for anger gives foothold to the devil. Yeah, I think it stops that thought right there. Yeah, it stops that thought right there. But it's almost like this being free of your anger, or not letting your anger control you, is a part of being new, in a sense, right? Like it literally like mentioned that right below where it said you are a new creature, you have new spirit and all these things. But maybe that's it. Maybe showing and being an example of that, of not letting our emotions or not letting our emotions control us, no, regardless of what the emotion is an example of actually allowing the Holy Spirit to control and drive what happens when those emotions take place.
Absolutely. That's why we have to focus our minds on what is holy, what is pure, what is good. It's all about our mindset, and asking God to adjust those things. What's funny? I have a reminder that goes off on my phone maybe once or twice a day, and it's just for me. And it's literally says, adjust your lenses. Literally. And it's just to always, whatever it is, take on the Christ perspective of it.
Yeah. Because
it's easy for us to look at situations, life, whatever it is, from the perspective that we have, or even just through the lens of that emotion that we're feeling in that particular moment. And so literally I could be angry, whether it be with you or somebody else or whatever it is, and that thing will come up, adjust your lenses. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. I guess I got to look at this God's way. And but that's the way you want to do it anyway. So what it's saying, don't let the sun go down on your anger. You need to be working through that. You need to be getting it together. Yeah. Because I think what it is we give ourselves all of these. I feel like we are in a time where all of these negative things are justified. There's no justification in it. When you are working, when you are a believer of Christ, we should always be doing everything that we can to be more and more like him. Do we fall short? Duh. We're not perfect. But if we're constantly striving to be like Christ, that anger, yes, it's a normal emotion. Got it. Yep. It's a normal emotion. But are you working through that emotion to make sure that you're looking at whatever it is that you're going through in that lens, in that perspective that God has designed, that he wants you to make sure that you're more and more like him? Yes, I'm angry, but God's word tells me not to go to sleep on my anger. So let me work this out before night. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't let it go down on you.
Yeah, don't let the sun go down on your anger. Let me work this out. Let me go take my little walk. Let me go drive around in the car with the music on, the window down. Let me go to the gym and blow out some steam. Let me work it out in a healthy, productive manner. And also kind of evaluate and kind of grow from that as well. This is what makes me mad. Why do I get mad like that? Whatever it was that triggered me, then I can go talk to the person as well about what triggered me that they had particularly did. Because sometimes that anger that we have, we don't always have to experience it in that particular moment every time with that particular person. If it's with a person, you can go talk to that person as well. Yep. You should go and make it right with your brother and sister in Christ as well. Oftentimes I feel like, well, no, not oftentimes. We are in a time where everybody just like, I'm mad, don't care.
And I'm the one that knows that's right in my anger.
I'm justified in my anger. And I can feel however I want to feel about you or the situation, period, because I can and I was wronged. You could have very much so been wrong.
Or you could be wrong.
You could be wrong or wronged. But even then, you are to take a stronger, a more high route in this thing. Yeah. Period. So even in your situation at work, it was all this stuff and all these questions being directed towards you, and you're trying to push it through. So it had nothing to do with you. So in that particular moment, you're like, oh, So now y'all want to work today.
Yeah.
Now y'all want to work today.
Right.
And now y'all want to come to me and say today, no.
Right.
Y'all should have listened to that weeks ago when I had been trying to do this, that, and the third. And you said, you know what? Let me take a step back. Let me pray. Let me adopt the Christ perspective. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to deliver.
Yep. And that's it.
And that's it.
Yep. Yeah. Being able to get that Christ perspective, like you said, kind of helps dissipate everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it ain't you, but you know what? As you was talking, you went in on something that I don't want to blow past. I want to put a exclamation point on it. When you quoted that scripture, don't let the sun go down on your anger, and then do all these things. I think one of the big key words there is let, meaning don't allow, meaning, or the opposite. Bro, I like to look at scripture and like see what the inverse of it is saying too, because there's information there. But not letting the sun go down on your anger, or not letting insert X emotion control your life, means that you really got to do take those action steps like you mentioned. What you gave a whole list of them. Rewind back a minute and 30 seconds if you missed them. But you gave a whole list of things just as examples that we have to do to be proactive in not letting our emotions take this elongated sense of time, this elongated period of time, to just fester and lead into sin.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought that's really prolific. You know what I'm saying? For that we don't necessarily pull that out of that scripture all the time. Yeah. We just take it kind of at face value. Don't let the sun go down on your anger. Oh, okay, just don't be angry don't be active. Be active. We got to be active with what we get. Absolutely. We got to be active with what we get.
We do. Yeah. I love that. Don't let, you want some control? You have some control right there. You have the ability to take on the perspective of Christ and go the route that you're supposed to go. The route that gives all glory and honor to Christ in whatever it is that you're saying or doing at that particular moment. It was something I was about to say that it just went out. Dang. Although that I can't remember what it is. That's made me so mad, because as you was talking, it came in my mind. I'm like, oh, that's a good point. That's a good point to make. But working out that thing. Oh yeah. So adjusting your lenses. The thing is you want your perspective to change. You know what I'm saying? You don't want those same things that angered you 10 years ago to keep angering you in your present life. So it's not just I'm angry. Let me adjust my lenses and see it Christ's ways. Well, yes, but you want to not just adjust it and see it in that particular moment. You want to take it on and renew your mind. Yep. So some of those things that triggered me when I was 20 something, it don't trigger me in my 30s. Yeah. It just don't, because I've matured. Yeah. And so there should also be a level of maturity that we're seeking when it comes to our emotions. Yeah, facts. Although anger, there'll be some angers that'll come across, but the thing is we're supposed to be growing with those emotions. So identifying what they are, understanding that these emotions are real, they're natural, we all experience them, but we also should be looking at them as an opportunity to reflect on our present, how those emotions are dictated by our past, working through them, adopting Christ's perspective, his lenses on things, period, and then growing, renewing our minds with Christ. And if we're doing that and we're truly proactive as we should be in that, then we're going to be making the growth and becoming more and more mature believers of Christ. It's going to be outward. Those things, you're just not going to be. That's why I said here, me and anger know each other very, very well. Yeah. But like nowadays, like, do I get mad? Yeah, but I work it out differently. And some of the stuff is just like, you know what? It is what it is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it should be as we're getting more and more mature. Because granted, in our younger years, we might have been at a job and somebody said something and be like, hey, bro, Like, I've been telling y'all this and the third. It's actually people out online right now when they make you mad at work. Get away from me, blah, 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 blah. We like, no, I'm going to deal with myself first.
Yeah.
Culture say one thing, but we're not going to do that. We're going to take God's perspective and we're going to grow and mature. And so them same things ain't even going to make you mad. Banging. You can be like, you know what, people, I'm in a people business. People going to be people, and that's what they say.
Yeah. That's always going to happen.
And I'm here to serve them.
Yeah. I like that.
And so, yeah, anger is natural. It's just, how do we show it?
Yeah, I think with the I want to take it back to the emotional wheel.
Yeah.
I'm personally an advocate. I don't think I haven't done any research on this, right? Mm-hmm. But in my spiritual radar, mm-hmm. for some reason it is saying that most people don't have a good and or clear enough relationship with their emotions to understand how to pray.
They lack emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like this thing is one of the dopest tools mm-hmm. that I have found to aid along me building in my relationship with God.
Yeah.
As far as me understanding what is what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's just me. I think I may have had like just a skewed understanding of what an emotion could be, mm-hmm. just historically. Mm-hmm. Especially if I'm averse to anger. I've been averse to anger all these years. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if that has skewed my perspective on a lot of the other emotions that there are out there or what they could mean or be. But man, it's been huge. Yeah. Especially the times that I remember to like go look at it.
I think it's great to even see you do it because, we've read books and I've even been a part of courses on emotional intelligence. We literally read a book about emotional intelligence, and people don't realize that it goes into all avenues of your life, not even just relationships, but like your workspaces. Oh, man. It goes everywhere with you, and you have to be aware of yourself and honestly always searching to be better versions of yourself. So for you to see you walk through that, you immediately said, okay, you jumped on it quickly. You didn't let it fester. You didn't let it turn into anything else. You like, you literally, you sitting at your desk. What am I feeling right now?
That's what I did.
That's what you did. What am I feeling right now? Let me get my emotional wheel.
That's funny.
And I'm seeing you look through it. And I just think, imagine how great it would be if all of us were that intentional about our growth. Everybody's so intentional about all these other things, money, work, but we should be that intentional about our growth and the depth.
Yeah.
I feel like we create more depth in any space that we're in when we're that intentional about the people that God wants us to be.
Yeah.
And so for you to be that self-aware, I think is great. And say, okay, I don't know what I'm feeling right now. Let me see what I'm feeling. And then actively search for that emotion. Because when you're doing that, even in those steps that you're taking, you automatically are coming down.
Yeah.
You're automatically coming down.
You're separating yourself from the emotion. You separating yourself from it. You're literally getting outside of it.
Absolutely.
To be able to, that's actually a really good point.
I think that's
the value of it.
Yeah,
of being able to do that.
Because it's immediately, we talk about coping skills all the time. And I think, yes, we should always have coping skills. But we should also use that as an opportunity to reflect and truly identify. Because sometimes we're mislabeling even the emotions that we're feeling. We don't even feel some of the emotions that we're saying, but we're saying it because we lack the ability to identify other emotions.
Yeah.
Are you humiliated?
Yeah. Just literally don't even know the words around it.
Are you embarrassed?
Wouldn't even think
know those
that was an emotion.
Don't even know it's an emotion.
I wouldn't have thought that embarrassment is an emotion.
You just go to the big dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You immediately go to these different things, but I think it's way more depth to it than that.
Because we're complex human beings.
It's way more depth to it.
The God of the universe made us.
Yeah.
So,
easy, or we simplify the emotion that we're feeling. You immediately went to, I'm frustrated. Well, it may not be that simple. You might actually be angry, and I've seen you act out your anger differently than other people. You know, it just looks different. I've seen some of the most insecure people act super tough. But you not though.
Yeah.
Like you act, and you wouldn't even see that. You would see some people that's insecure that's like,
Yep.
And you see some people that's insecure, like hyper, be very hyper in a different realm, hyper aggressive.
Yep.
And it's really them being insecure. So you don't even see those true emotions being sought out. And that's why I think it's important for us to truly do things that you just did. Because it's like, wait, bro, I'm really not even mad.
Yeah.
I feel insecure, or I'm fearful, and that's what's making me act the way that I act right now. And so I think it can be really beneficial for us to gain some emotional intelligence, take a step back out of ourselves, and really identify what's going on within us.
There was another, I remember I used it another time. Maybe it could be valuable. I haven't gotten your perspective on this, but I used it in the middle of us kind of having a little argument.
Yeah.
I pulled it out. And I thought it helped because a reaction that I had to something that you said would have, I feel like it offered a lot better context around what the reaction was. Mm-hmm. But let me ask you, did me kind of extracting that, what did that do for you?
When
Providing this was probably a month ago. This might have been a month ago.
I see. I would need more context without you.
I think, okay, so so I can't even remember. I can't remember. I think my initial reaction was, I think it ended with me being surprised. But it didn't come off as me being surprised on the surface. Yeah. So when I extracted that, did it matter at all to you? Or because we was rightly so, we was in the middle of the moment.
Yeah.
Or did it like help you with some of the understanding and context around it as well?
And I actually remember, I don't remember all around it, but I remember you switching the word to surprised. Mm-hmm. And what that was, it helped me understand that you just weren't aware.
Yeah.
You weren't aware of whatever situation it was. And so you were shocked that I felt the way that I had felt about something.
I said confused.
That
was the initial. That was what was on the surface.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That was what was on the surface. That was the initial. And
I can't remember the whole thing, but I think it helped because then we were able to talk a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because usually I'm a person that'll walk away, y'all. I ain't really trying to.
But no, that's not you will walk away and I'm a walk toward.
Yeah.
And those two is not good. It's not good. We need that. We need to be able to get that space.
It got to be a balance.
And for anybody out there, the folks who are walk toward like me, like the folks who are, hey, let's figure this out right now, like I am. Mm-hmm. You have to understand. I have to understand the responsibility that I have. Mm-hmm. I feel like in a lot of situations, don't forget what you were saying either. I feel like in a lot of situations, there's one person who has the responsibility to make something go well, if you will. It just depends on what it is. So like in the case of like, if we're talking about emotions, if someone needs to walk away, it means that they're experiencing an emotion, which we just talked about. We can't always control our emotions. And you can't snap out of an emotion, just like we talked about all of this at the beginning, right? But the person who is trying to continue, hey, you probably have or are in a different type of zone, or the ball is just in your court to be able to stop. You know what I'm saying? The ball is in my court to stop.
Yeah.
And it's my responsibility. I'm trying to think of another.
You also have to have relational intelligence.
Bless
you.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, that's not even a sneeze, but that was a cough. Either way.
Bless me. I'll take a blessing regardless.
You also have to have relational intelligence. It comes down to, you also have to be able to understand that if I am seeing that you need a break, I need to give you that. That's just the reality of it. People don't process everything in the same way that we do.
Yep.
And what we're doing is more harm than good. And the thing is your ability to want to walk towards a situation and fix it is great. But it's not always healthy. It's not always healthy because if you're also mad and the person, just because you're walking towards doesn't mean you're walking to it and it's kumbaya. You're walking towards it mad as well and expressing it because you just don't want to let it die. And so the reality is you actually probably need to walk away too.
No, you need to walk. You absolutely need to walk away.
You're a walk towards it. And it's like, or it could be the other way around. It's like, you know what? I'm cool. Like, I just really want to work it out and blah, blah, blah. And yes, absolutely. But sometimes if you know that other person is like, I know that I'm going to pop off if I don't take a second to like calm down. That's their way of having their emotional intelligence is knowing that right now I need to go work this out and then come back and work it out. You know? So it was nothing wrong with you being like walking towards it because at some point we both need to be walking towards that resolution. It just needs to be in a healthy manner.
Outside of the emotion.
Outside of the emotion. Outside of the emotion. Always come back though. That's the thing.
Gotta come back.
You gotta come back.
The person that's always trying to walk towards, they taking the don't let the sun go down on your anger a little bit too literally.
Because you pissing me off.
Just a little literally. Just a little literal. Like you, I think you'd be okay if you let the sun go down. You know, just like the actual sun. I think you'd be okay. Just make sure that you settle it. Just make sure it gets settled.
It needs to be settled, and it needs to be settled expeditiously. It shouldn't be something that is prolonged. Absolutely not. We need to be. We need to be working towards that resolve quickly. Because that's when the enemy creeps in. Whether it's in our marriages, within our relationships, in our churches, whatever it is, we justify our emotions, and we should not be doing that. Or justify how long we need in our walk away and calm down. No, you don't need that much time. And there comes a point where you would need to be working through it and calling on the Holy Spirit to help you walk through that because that is when the enemy comes in. Bitterness, all these different lies start creeping in while you're in the rawness of that emotion. So no, you do not have permission, in my opinion, to be sitting in that anger and that resentment or whatever that emotion is at that particular moment. You need to come back and fix it with your brother and sister. But
sitting in it is what we was talking about the whole time. Sitting in it is allowing it to control you.
Absolutely.
And we can't. So it absolutely needs to be a responsibility on that person's part
has to be
to have the emotional intelligence to know that they need to work and be working out of it.
And the maturity. The maturity of doing that. When you are very serious with your walk with Christ, you pursue the seriousness of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, like, it makes me, you know how many times it has really made me mad, but I'm fighting myself to do it because I know it's the right thing to do. That's when you got to kick into that maturity at some point. I feel like we're in a time where everyone's like, do what makes you happy, do it this and do this. Yes and no. No. The right thing don't always make you happy. That's just the reality of it. I think like we always just like, well, you know what? I feel like this. I feel like this. I get it. And your feelings are important. They are important. But I'm not going to just justify and pat your back like culture will. I'm going to tell you, you know what? You have every right to be angry. Okay. So what are we going to do about it? Well, he did this or she did this. Okay. So what are you doing about it? Come up out of it. Culture going to tell you to sit in it, cry about it, and all these different things. And yes, you should work through it, but they'll tell you to stay there. They'll tell you to stay there. And that's just not what we should do. We should be working through it and becoming better and more mature and allowing those emotions to also strengthen our relationships. So, yeah, I think anger is an informative emotion. It tells us a lot about ourselves and a lot about our relationships. And if we truly lean into it and truly explore it, it can shed some light.
Yeah.
On a lot of things for us.
Yeah. I got nothing else.
I don't have nothing else either.
I got nothing. This was a good conversation. I thank you. Thank you
for entertaining me. And I'm just
for help. I was getting kind of emotional there a little bit.
Why?
About that whole anger thing.
Why?
My history with anger, or my fear of, because I feel like it has held me back from acting on some instances where there should have been some righteous anger. I feel like it's held me back in some situations involving you too, like not some situations where I could have done a better job in defending. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I feel like that's held me back. So maybe that was just a little emotional.
You want some tissue?
I almost did. If we would have sat there for another 30 seconds, I would have needed something. But I don't know. That's got me. I never really considered any of that. So thank you for
we gotta talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah. Thanks for walking that through with me, because I never.
Thanks for setting the template though, because seeing you strive to really identify what those emotions are, I think is a great example to set for me, for Noah, to be able to identify why we're feeling the way that we feel. I think it's beneficial for us in our relationships outside of our home.
Yeah.
So I want all of us to be very aware of ourselves.
Yeah.
And constantly exploring ways to be better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything else?
That's it. That's all.
All right. Well,
in the meantime, in between time,
stay focused, y'all.
Stay focused.
Peace.
Bye.